Okay, so we'll start it now. See, as of now, what we have seen, the part of syllabus adds the simple function. Then we have seen the different types of the function, like 4 different types. Then we have seen call by value and call by reference type of functions. Now we are going to see the inline function, overloading of function, default arguments. This friend function we will be see in the unit number 6 when we are going to learn the concept of friend function. Sorry, the concept of class and object. Okay, so at that moment we will see this friend function. Will be covered today inline function, overloading, because macros we already seen the regular type of function. So what is remaining? The inline, overloading, and default. So we'll be see one by one now. What do you understand by the name overload? Okay. Okay, see, before this, what we covered tomorrow, today morning, that I want to recite once again. We have implemented the example of swapping of two numbers by using call by reference. When we are doing the call by reference, at that moment we need to understand the concept of pointers. See, कॉल बाय व्हॅल्यू असेल तर त्यावेळेस पॉइंटर्स यूज करत नाहीत. when there is a statement like you need to implement a function using call by reference, at that moment you need to think of the pointer as a parameter. त्यावेळेस तुम्हाला पॉइंटर व्हेरिएबल हे पॅरामीटर्स म्हणून फंक्शन्सला यूज करायला लागतील. ओके, and when you are going to use the pointer variables as a parameter to the function, remember at the time of calling the function you need to call the function with their addresses. त्यावेळेस addresses तुम्हाला पास करायला लागतील. Why? Because pointer variables are pointing towards the address of the other variables. Okay, so you need to remember this point for call by reference. Okay, now see, this PPT I'm going to upload it by today for your reference in your teaching material. Okay, so we'll be having the problem statement as well as the solutions and the sample output here when you are going to run this program. Okay, now we'll start with a function overloading. For function overloading, you need to remember this first line. It is nothing but the function having the same name but different arguments. Okay, see, when you say the function overloading or function is overloaded, you need to understand it must have the same function name but with different arguments. Here are the some examples I mentioned here. Just say integer test. Test is the name of function, integer is the return type, and this open and close round brackets, it indicates the parameters or the parenthesis, and this is what open and close curly bracket is nothing but the body of this test function, right? So if you need to observe, there are total 4 functions having the same name as test, integer test, double test, again integer test. But if you check the observation, if you do the clear observation, you will be find the difference. Here I have not passed any argument. Here I pass one argument, but it is of type integer. Here also I pass one argument which is of type double, and here I pass the argument having 2 different data types, as one is integer and other is double. Here you can say test function is overloaded as it satisfies with the definition. Here you have the same name of function, but you are having the different argument. In the first function, you don't have any arguments. In the second and third, you have one argument exactly. That's correct, but you'll be find the different data type for the parameter. which is used in the declaration of your function. Function use करताना तिथे काय केलंय, वेगळा data type use केलाय. Here I use the integer type, and for this I use the double. Okay, so what you need to note it here, note that the return type of all those functions are not the same. Yes, that is true. Three functions are having integer type and one is having double. That means all four are not having the same return type. Overloaded functions may or may not have the different return types. फंक्शन ओव्हरलोडिंग हे त्याच्यावरून डिसाइड होत नाही तुमच्या रिटर्न टाइप वरून. फंक्शन ओव्हरलोडिंग हे कशावरून डिसाइड होतं, तुमच्या पॅरामीटर्स वरून और आर्ग्युमेंट्स वरून. बट they must have the different argument. Function overloaded is decided based on the different parameters or arguments which you have passed for the same function name. Okay, let's take an example. Okay, here is a problem statement to use the function overloading. Okay, so I will copy this. I will go to the online compiler, and here I am going to start writing code for here I am going to start code for function overloading. Okay, so I will write it here. I will first write the details for you. Function overload or function overloading. Okay, so okay, for a simplicity, I'm going to take example of, let's say I'm having addition, void add. Okay, this is one function. I will be having, let's say, one more function add, and here I'm going to pass the parameters, let's say integer a comma integer b. Okay, two parameters I'm going to take. Okay, now I'm going to write a definition for those two functions which I have declared here. Okay, so let's say void add. Here I'm going to use two variable, let's say two more variable. Int p is equal to 10, q is equal to 20. Okay, I will use only one variable, two variable here. P is equal to p plus q. The addition of p plus q is going to store here in the p variable, and here I'm going to display cout. Cout, I will display addition is equal to, okay, here I will display p variable. I will use pointer. Okay, I will point to the next line. Okay, this is for the first function which I mentioned here. Sorry. Okay, now will we do this for the second function. I'm going to write the body for this second function. Semicolon is not allowed here. Okay. Now, as I have a and b, okay, that means I'm going to pass some value from here, right? So what I will do it here. Okay, I will take one more variable. Let's say int c. C is equal to a plus b. Okay, addition. Here I'm going to print by using the variable c. Sorry, it's in small letter. Okay. Okay, so functions are declared here. Functions have defined here. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call those function here. The first function name is very simple, add, and the second function is having some values, right? Two parameters I need to pass. Okay, instead of assigning some variable and passing those, like here I'm going to pass two values for those, let's say 50-50. Okay, two values here. From here I'm going to pass, and okay, so it is going to call this function. Okay, fine. So just check, I'm going to run the program. Where I missed at line number 30. Here I have closed, here I closed. This is also I closed. Okay, 30 is the extra. Okay, so I'm going to run program. See, the addition is equal to 30. So when this function get called, the first function, okay, when the first function get called, so it will execute integer p is equal to 10, integer q is equal to 20. So it will do the addition 10 plus 20, 30, and 30 is going to store, it is going to be stored here in the p variable, and I'm going to display the value from the p variable, that is 30. Okay, so this function gets executed. Now, at and it returns the result here. When the compiler moves to the next line, line number 14, it finds there is a function add having two parameter which is of type integer. So again, it will search for the definition, and once it found the definition over here, like the name of function add, and it has two parameter which is of type integer. That's cool. Okay, so it is going to assign the value for a variable, that is 50, and the second parameter b is having now the value as 50. Okay, I have one more variable here as a C, and here what I'm going to do, the addition of a plus b is going to be stored here in the C. What are the values of a and b? The a is having the value as 50 and b is having the value as 50. So 50 plus 50, 100 is going to be stored here in the variable C. And simply I'm going to display the value of C variable, which is 100. Okay, if you wish to make a change over here, like you can do like this way, so you'll find the difference here. This is one way to assign the values, or there is other way, like you need to have two more parameters, let's say x comma x equal to 50 comma y is equal to 75. Okay, and you can, instead of directly passing those values, you can pass the variables x comma y. Okay, and you run the program, you'll find the same output. Okay, so now if you observe here, I'm having the same function, same name of function, but different arguments, different parameters. So this type of called as, this type of function, we called it as function overloading. Okay, so have you understood this? समझ लेगा? Hello. Hello, have you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's say if I have one more, if I wish to create one more function, let's say with the same name. Okay, I'm check here. I use the integer data type. Sorry, integer return type. But I will keep the same function name. And here now, instead of two, I'm going to use three variables. Int b comma int c. Okay, so I have declared the function. Now I'm going to call the function. Sorry, not I'm directly going to call the function. What I will do, first I will define the function. Okay. The body. Okay, instead of this, directly I'm going to write return A plus B plus C. Okay, as I mentioned written here, so I need to use some variable over here. Let's say integer x, y, z. Okay. Okay, so here I will use a variable name sum. Okay, sum is equal to, I'm going to call the function add with 3 arguments. Now instead of this, I'm directly going to pass 3 values here. Let's say 10, comma 20, comma 30. Okay, as I'm having the 3 values, so compiler will not check with 2 values. So it will go to the 3 values function, and whatever operation it is mentioned here, like operation is what? It need to display the result of addition of these 3 numbers, a plus b plus c. And it is going to be stored here in the sum variable, and here I'm going to display cout sum, or I will use the same addition is equal to, and addition is stored here in the sum variable. Okay, so just check. I'm going to run the example. Okay, sum 10 plus 20, that is 30. 30 plus 30, 60. So answer is 60. Here you can observe. Okay, answer is 60. So this concept we called it as function overloading. Okay, so I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to post here in the chat box. And again, I'm going to copy this message for your like ready reference, and I text you in the chat box. Just let me know whether a message is available to all. Yes, message is available.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So just click on the link and start executing. For your simplicity, you can take only 2 functions with the same name. That is sufficient to understand the concept of function overloading. Okay. So start working, start executing the program and send me the screenshot of it so that we can move to the next. So start doing it. Okay, roll number 4 for you. I'm going to post the link in the chat box once again so that you can click on the link and start executing the program. Okay, I think you may be left due to network. Okay, just copy it and paste and start executing the program. Do it fast, guys. Yes, do it fast. Send me. Good. Two of you have sent. Yes, I will be wait for 1 minute more and then we will move to the next point. Those who are remaining, please do it fast. Okay, so one of you got error. See, refresh your code once again. Uh, Before refreshing, copy your code and refresh the browser. So that you need not to type once again. Or for you and for all, I'm going to copy this code and I will post here in the chat box. Okay. Okay, so you need to do uh, just give your attention. Everyone, please be mute so that others will not be get disturbed. Okay, fine. So we'll start with the next. I think my screen get locked. Just a minute. Hello, is it visible? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now we are going to start with the default arguments. Okay, so फंक्शन ओव्हरलोडिंग म्हणजेच जे आता आपण बघितलं फंक्शन ओव्हरलोडिंग म्हणजेच काय की सेम नावाचं जर फंक्शन तुमच्या प्रोग्राम मध्ये यूज केलं असेल म्हणजे एका प्रोग्राम मध्ये मल्टिपल फंक्शन्स आहेत आणि त्या सगळ्या फंक्शनचं किंवा त्यातल्या काही फंक्शन मध्ये you observe there is a same name of function but with different arguments. At that moment we called such functions as or such concept as function overloading. Okay, त्या concept ला काय म्हणतात function overloading. Now we will see what is default arguments. Okay, I will read for you. A default argument is a value provided in the function declaration. Default argument is a value provided in the function declaration. I will move to the program. See here. In the function declaration, default argument म्हणजेच काय की ज्याची व्हॅल्यू तुमच्या फंक्शन डिक्लेरेशनच्या वेळेस असाइन केलेली असते. But if you check here, I have not given any value. Okay, so this we cannot say as a default argument. The value provided in a function declaration that is automatically assigned by the compiler if calling function does not provide the value for the arguments with the default. Okay, before this, if I okay, just check. I will remove this third, the definition of third, that is 3 parameters A, B, C. Okay, I'm going to remove it. Yes, is everybody looking at the screen? सगळेजण screen कडे बघतायत का?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now just check. I'm going to remove this. Now here I have 3 function declaration. One is without any parameter. One is having 2 parameters and other is having 3 parameters. Okay, similarly, I called 3 functions. One is without argument, one is having 2 arguments, and the third one is having 3 arguments. Okay, just check. When I try to run, it gives me this error. Why? Because the number of arguments which you have provided, it doesn't match with the number of arguments which are there in your function. Barabar. When I will be having the matching of this third you can say third call, right? The function having the 3 parameters, then it will execute it. I'll copy, I will refresh browser. Okay, so you'll find the result here. Okay, म्हणजे याचा अर्थ काय होतोय की ह्या फंक्शनची डेफिनेशन त्याला मिळत नाही कोणाला कंपायलरला. And as the because here I am having 3 arguments and here it is also having 3 arguments. इथे बघा मी इथे सिलेक्ट केलं तर ऑटोमॅटिकली इथे तुम्हाला एक बॉक्स दिसेल. If I highlight this, it will found its matching. Okay, but once I removed it, so it will not found its matching, right? At that moment the compiler will give you the error. Why? Because you have not given all the values. Or just check here, instead of now I have 3 parameters. I have 3 parameters, but I wish to pass 4 values. माझ्याकडे फंक्शन किती पॅरामीटर्स आहेत 3. Okay, it can handle 3 values, but I'm trying to pass 4 values as a parameter. Just check. Again, it will give an error, right? So it will raise an error that too many or too less values, 3 arguments. What it expects 3 arguments, but I provided the 4. Okay, at the time I provided the 4. At max I'm having the 3 parameters, but here I provided the 4. Okay, so this cannot be done. Now this is what the function, जितके तुम्ही आर्ग्युमेंट दिले तितकेच तुम्ही आर्ग्युमेंट और पॅरामीटर पास करायला पाहिजे. Okay, you cannot pass less or you cannot pass more. Okay, now what is there in the default argument? आता default arguments मध्ये काय आहे? Default argument is a value provided in the function declaration which compiler assigns automatically at the time of caller if caller is not providing. Okay, या वाक्याचा अर्थ काय होतो? Now just see here I mentioned one more variable, let's say integer okay, integer a b c d. I will use d. Let's say 0. Okay, see default argument म्हणजेच काय की a value provided in the function declaration. Function declaration च्या वेळेसच तुम्ही काय करायची, व्हॅल्यू प्रोव्हाइड करायची. ओके, इन्स्टेड ऑफ दिस नाउ व्हॉट आय विल डू, इथे लिहिण्यापेक्षा मी काय करतो ते इथेच बॉडी मेन्शन करतो, सो दॅट आय नीड नॉट टू बी मेन्शन लाईक अप्स अँड डाऊन प्लस डी. ओके, here I will remove. Okay, from here I will remove. Me what I did, declaration and definition मी एकाच जागी केली. So here I have removed the semicolon. Okay, now you will check I am having three values a b c and this is my default argument. इथे मी काय केलं, तो डिक्लेअर केलाय, व्हॅल्यू पास केली या डी व्हेरिएबलला, कधी फंक्शन डिक्लेरेशनच्याच वेळेस. ऍट दॅट मोमेंट this called as a default argument. आता इथे बघा, I have 4 parameters, right? And out of this, I am passing only 3 values. Just check, I will run the program. It counts. Now 10 plus 20, 30, 30 plus 30, that is again 30 plus 30, 60. And what is the value of D? D I have assigned 0. Just check if I make the change in the value, let's say 25. Okay, just check, just observe this output as, see 10 plus the values are passed from here, 10 plus 20 plus 30, 60, that we have seen. 60 plus 25, it will give you the 85. Okay, so you may got the meaning of this statement. ह्या स्टेटमेंटचं मिनिंग काय, फंक्शन डिक्लेअर करताना तुम्ही व्हॅल्यू प्रोव्हाइड करायला पाहिजे, दॅट आय प्रोव्हाइडेड, राईट. अँड इफ and it is automatically assigned by the compiler. Compiler automatically ती default value कधी assign करेल, if the caller function doesn't provide the value for the argument. ज्यावेळेस मी इथं चौथी व्हॅल्यू जर मी पास केली नाही, तर कंपायलर काय करतोय, कंपायलर इज गोइंग टू असाइन द डिफॉल्ट व्हॅल्यू विच इज असाइन्ड. इथे जी काय व्हॅल्यू असाइन केलेली आहे डिफॉल्ट, तीच व्हॅल्यू इथे तो असाइन करून घेतो. बट कधी जर तुम्ही हे इथे डिफॉल्ट आर्ग्युमेंट म्हणून असाइन केलेलं असेल तर, प्रिव्हियस केस मध्ये बघितलं आपण, जर मी इथे व्हॅल्यू जर असाइन केली नाही, ओके, अँड just check, here I have not assigned any value but I am trying to execute it. Just check, it gives an error. Why? Because candidate is expect 4. इथे 4 arguments आहेत, तर ह्या चारच्या मला व्हॅल्यूज पाहिजेत, बट 3 प्रोव्हाइडेड. मी इथे किती प्रोव्हाइड केलेत, कॉल करताना 3च प्रोव्हाइड केलेत. ओके, सो दॅट इज व्हॉट द एक्स्ट्रा फॅसिलिटी इज विथ द डिफॉल्ट आर्ग्युमेंट्स. इथे मी व्हॅल्यू असाइन केली, नाउ दिस वी कॉल्ड ॲज अ डिफॉल्ट आर्ग्युमेंट. आणि आता जर मी इथे व्हॅल्यू पास म्हणजे कॉल करताना जर मी विसरलो एखादी व्हॅल्यू, then it automatically takes this value by default and it will compute the operation which is mentioned in the body of this function. Okay, just check, I will run the program once again. Okay, you can give any value here. Okay, इथपर्यंत समजलंय का? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the meaning of these statements. Now check, there are some few important things about the default arguments. Just see, we will go line by line. Default arguments are the different from the constant argument. Just now we have seen the constant argument can't be changed, which is also correct, whereas the default arguments can be overwritten if required. The default argument can be overwritten if required. आता हे overwritten कधी होतं, when you are going to reassign the value to the variable. ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही reassign करतात व्हॅल्यू, त्यावेळेस कुठला वर्ड येतो, overwritten. So now we will check. how it get overwritten. Here at the time of calling, instead of passing 3 values only, here I'm going to pass, let's say, 4 values. Okay, here default argument is 25, and at the time of function call I'm going to pass the 4th argument as well. मी function call करताना मी काय करतोय, चारही argument pass करतोय. Okay, just see, and here I'm going to compute the addition of those 4. Just check. See now, instead of 85, it gives me 100. Why? 10 plus 20, 30, 30 plus 30, that is 60, and 60 plus 40, it gives me 100. Whatever the previously assigned value at the time of function declaration च्या वेळेस जी काय तुमची default argument ची value होती 25, it is now get overwritten. Overwrite कशामुळे झाली? ज्यावेळेस मी फंक्शन कॉल करतोय त्यावेळेस मी तिथे किती दिली, instead of 25 मी किती दिली तिथे 40. सो 25 गेट इरेज्ड, 25 ही काय झाली, इरेज झाली, आणि त्याच्या जागी व्हॅल्यू कुठली आली अपडेटेड, 40. and your function is going to calculate now 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40. So it gives me answer 100. Now you will be having the two scenarios. जर मी इथे व्हॅल्यू पास करताना जर कमी दिली, at that moment the default value is going to be considered for the computation. जे काही तुमचं कम्प्युटेशन असेल, नॉट नेसेसरी ऑलवेज ऍडिशन, पण इथे बॉडीमध्ये इट मे बी लाईक सबस्ट्रॅक्शन, मल्टिप्लिकेशन, डिव्हिजन, ऑर यू मे नीड टू फाइंड द स्क्वेअर ऑफ दिस व्हॅल्यू. ओके, कुठले कॉम्प्युटेशन असेल, जर कॉल करताना व्हॅल्यू मिस झाली तर डिफॉल्ट आर्ग्युमेंटची व्हॅल्यू ॲज इट इज ऍक्सेप्ट होते. कंपायलर इज गोइंग टू असाइन द व्हॅल्यू ऑटोमॅटिकली. But if at the time of like calling the function, if you assign any value, let's say if I assign 10, the previously assigned value for the default argument is getting overwritten. See, 60 plus 10, it gives me 70. आधीची कुठलीही व्हॅल्यू असेल ती काय होती, ओव्हरराईट, म्हणजे ती निघून जाते आणि नवीन व्हॅल्यू इज गोइंग टू बी देअर फॉर युअर ऑपरेशनल पर्पज. ओके, so have you understood this? Hello, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. See, both are having the same meaning. Now third, once default value is used for an argument in the function definition, all subsequent argument it must have the default value. It can also be stated as default argument are assigned from right to left. The default argument हे जे काय देणार तुम्ही, it is, you should give it from the right hand side. Okay, now we will check here. If I make a is equal to, let's say, 25, and here I'll keep this. Okay, and here again I'm going to keep this way. Okay, just check. It gives me an error. Why? This is the meaning of the last statement. The default argument जे तुम्हाला द्यायचं आहे, you need to give at the last. Okay, जे काय तुम्हाला default argument द्यायचे असतील, so you need to give it from the last. You need not to be started from the first. ते तुम्ही सुरुवातीला द्यायला नाही पाहिजे. Okay, because what? As per like the convention, the first, when the function get calls, this value is going to be assigned to the first, but as it is already assigned, so it will not allowed, because this is not the way of default argument declaration. हे default argument असं देत नाही. Okay, so right hand side कडून तुम्हाला काय करायला लागेल, default arguments you can give any number, not necessarily, let's say if I have 26, okay, I will give 25, sorry, 25, comma, I can have one more or few more, let's say 30. Okay, as this is default, if I forget to pass values, it is going to be take automatically. Okay, check kara. 85 because 60 plus 25 it gives 85. I have not added yes here. Okay, yes add केलेलं नाही. I will add yes, no doubt. 115. But default arguments must be at the right hand side, not from the left hand side. If you give from the left hand side, the compiler will raise an error. So that is there the meaning of this. Okay, so for default argument, you need to understand the three conditions. I will give the first very simple condition. Default argument, value for the default argument, it must be at the right hand side of all the parameters. जितके पॅरामीटर्स असतील और आर्ग्युमेंट्स असतील तर त्याच्यातल्या राईट मोस्ट साईडला तुम्ही डिफॉल्ट आर्ग्युमेंटच्या व्हॅल्यूज यू नीड टू प्रोव्हाइड. ओके. सेकंड, डिफॉल्ट आर्ग्युमेंट्स इज नॉट ऍक्सेप्टेबल फ्रॉम द लेफ्ट हँड साइड. लेफ्ट हँड साइड पासून डिफॉल्ट आर्ग्युमेंट ऍक्सेप्ट होत नाहीत. Second case, if you forget to pass value at the time of function call, just तुम्ही function call करताय त्यावेळी जर तुम्ही value, if you forget the value to pass for the default argument लाच value द्यायला जर तुम्ही विसरलात, then compiler will take this default value of default argument automatically in the body of the function. त्या फंक्शनच्या बॉडी मध्ये ती default argument automatically compiler is going to assign. Okay, if you provided the value, let's say at the time of function calling, which is already mentioned here in the default argument ला already value आहे, but तुम्ही function call करताना सुद्धा value assign केली, then the value which you have assigned at the time of function call, it is overwritten to the previous value of default argument. आधीची जी काही व्हॅल्यू असेल डिफॉल्ट आर्ग्युमेंटची त्याच्यावरती तुम्ही जी फंक्शन कॉल करताना व्हॅल्यू असाइन केली, इट इज गोइंग टू बी असाइन्ड. म्हणजेच आधीची व्हॅल्यू काय होईल, ओव्हरराईट होईल. ओके, सो दिस थिंग्स यू नीड टू रिमेंबर at the time of default function implementation. Okay, so can you implement it now? Can you try to implement it? Have you understood default arguments? Default arguments समजलेत का? Hello. Yes, one of you have mentioned in the chat box. What about others? Have you understood default argument? Anyone? Roll number 4. Roll number 4, B division. Aishwarya Gaikwad. Okay, I'm getting the messages. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay, sure. Getting messages. Okay, okay. Okay, so what we'll do now, we almost reached to the time. Okay, so you implement this default arguments. We have a last bit as inline function. Okay, we will carry out. It is just like to give only inline keyword. Okay, before your return type च्या आधी फक्त inline keyword assign करायचं. But we will see this in the next lecture. Okay, we will not stretch more because already we have added one more hour into your daily routine, right? So here I'm going to make change, implementation of function overloading. Instead of this, implementation of default arguments. Implementation of default arguments. Okay, I'm going to copy this and paste here in the chat box. Okay, for your ready reference, copy it and you may share it with your some of your friends, because once we end the session, so this message will also get erased. Okay, so copy this last message and you can share it with your friends, so that you can use here in the at the top 5 lines. Yeah, here I'm going to share the link as well. Okay, just implement it and send me the screenshot of it, so that uh, we can go for the next compete by next lecture. Okay, so today we'll stop here. Thank you. Implement it, the program, and send me the screenshot. Here I'm going to stop now. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you all.